Hello guys, and thanks for watching. In today's video I want to show you a very big part of my collection, my Flesh and Blood collection. So right here, this is a full set of Alpha Welcome to Rathe. And by full set I mean every card you can open in a booster pack. Okay, so you have all the tokens, all the cold foils, all the rainbow foils and all the non-foil cards that you can open in the packs. So obviously that does not include the promo weapons that you can win in the armory events at your local game store, or the top 8, you get a hero, cold foil hero, for being in the top 8 at the nationals or the calling or other major events. So I don't collect promos, that's just not my thing. I only focus on what you can get from the packs. So what I want to do here is skim through the pages here, show the cards. Some of the valuable ones have a particular story, and I want to do that while my memory is still fresh. How I acquired the card, whether that was difficult or not, with whom I traded. I think it's a nice memory, a bit like a time capsule for whoever cares in the future. And I'm just going to do that. That might be a bit long. One important thing, I think the main question is whether or not I have the Heart of Fendel. Yes, I do have it. I do not have it here because it's right now within the hands of my friend Saint at Fabled Hunters. I'm sure you know his YouTube channel. So it's soon going to be graded, and I'm going to make a special video when it goes back to me. When it's returned here, because, it's a very special card. I think it deserves its own space and its own video, especially with everything that happens with Beckett right now. I'm a bit nervous, so I really want to focus the video on that particular card. So that will be the next one, or maybe next month, I don't know yet. So right here you see everything but the heart. The heart comes a bit later. So I organized that. Let me make some space here. It's the classification just goes from Brute, Guardian, Ninja, Warrior, Generic. Pretty basic, and we start with Brute. So each time it starts with the heroes. I put a bubble here to just fill up some blanks. The Heart of Fendel should go here. Well, with the slab it won't be possible anymore, so maybe I'll get a limited version at some point, I don't know. And let's talk about the first spicy card here, which is the Scabskin Leathers. So that one is the very first legendary from WTR that I bought. I bought it back then in January because it was the cheapest one, the cheapest you could get. Some kind of brute hate and not really hype. I mean, it's not as sexy as the Mask of Momentum and obviously not the Tunic, but it's a pretty good condition. It's a friend of mine who introduced me to a seller who played since the very beginning. So the guy drafted Alpha back then in Taipei. And I got the card from him. That's from his main deck. So I was pretty happy to get that. In the same deal, I obtained the Rainbow Foil Enlightened Strike, which is also a very tough card to get nowadays. Even back then, but I come back to that later on. Now, the common cold foils were pretty easy to get. I think people didn't really appreciate them back then. As much as they did later on, like in April or May, when the big boom happened. And everything was easy to get, except for that one. The Barkbone strapping, for some reason. I've been looking literally for weeks to find one. I usually don't like to buy online because you never know about the conditions, so I had to find a player, collector, or someone who was willing to sell me this. And eventually I got 2 copies of the Barkbone with Arcanite Skullcap from Arcan Rising, traded with Magic the Gathering, Dual Lands, and other reserve list cards. Yeah, I do trade Magic reserve list all day long for this kind of stuff. I love to trade, collect. It's not a problem to me. I'm not like stubborn with my collection, but I really wanted to finish that. And yeah, in order to finish that, I had to make some sacrifices, to get what I was really looking for. Then we moved to the first Rainbow Foil Majestic, which is Alpha Rampage. So this is one of the misprint cards with the pink stripe instead of the red one. So just so you know, Razor Reflex foil, oh wait, is it the non-foil? I see that later. Is the only card in WTR with the red stripe. All the other red pitch cards are pink. And this was actually pretty easy to find. A shop in Taiwan had 3 copies of it. I bought all 3 without any hesitation. I bought each and every Majestic I could whenever I saw one. Now I only have this copy left because I traded the other 2 copies to a gentleman in Hawaii for a Spinal Crush and Glint the Quicksilver foil. Let me also say that like 99% of all the cards you see here have been sourced in Taiwan, at the exception of the Spinal Crush and the Glint the Quicksilver, because I was really desperate to find them. So I had to trade abroad, take some risks, and so on. Otherwise, all these cards come from shops, players, collectors in Taiwan. So it's a very special collection to me. Same goes for the Blood Rush below. I also found that in the same shop. And then we have the super rares. Nothing much to say here. These were a bit easier to get. Special mention to Reckless Swing. If you play the game, you know how annoying this card is, I hope. If not, one day you find out. The rares were super easy to get, as well as the common cards. Because one shop was completely, how to say that? There was a shop close by to where I live that was completely stopping any business supporting FAB. The shop had a lot of troubles, not so many players, and so on. So I bought quite a few super rares and code foils from him, from the shop owner, and he had this big, massive box of bulk, and in the bulk were like rainbow foils, alpha, WTR, CRU, ARC, whatever you name it, and got this kind of stuff, pretty good condition, even it was unsleeved, no surface damage whatsoever. The corners are like, it is what it is. Can't really complain about that at this point. So it was pretty easy to gather all the pink stripe stuff, foil, common, and rares. Let's move on a bit. Here we have the Guardian stuff. So Guardian is the main hero I play. Let me just try to avoid the reflection here, put something under. Okay, and this deck plating, this copy comes from a player, a good friend of mine. He's heavily invested in Pokemon, TCG, collecting, playing, and so on, organizing events as well. And this is his copy. I bought his entire Bravo deck, a CC deck back then, so I could start to play. And I'm still playing that deck nowadays with his cards. So here are all of his stuff. And the tech plating, well, I play Rainbow Foil, and the cold foil version is here. So we're really talking about a time where, all these guys here in Taiwan didn't have Unlimited. Unlimited wasn't released. And you literally had people playing with their cold foils as equipment. Even saw a guy pitching a cold foil Heart of Fendel while playing really crazy stuff. This is prior to the Unlimited. Then, Helm of Eisenpeak. This one spiked to like absolutely crazy prices in April. Something like 800 US dollars. I have no idea why. This is one of the common cold foils I prefer. I'm really into symmetric stuff, so I really like this. I was thinking that with Monarch, on some of the artwork, you see some kind of angels, guardians, whatever, having this kind of helm. So I was hoping in Monarch to get a guardian, but probably that will be for Tales of Area. So this is also stuff I got in a shop. When I arrived there, it was still a time it was easy to get cold foil commons. You just asked for the FAB binder, and just opening, you had like, I don't know, 6, 7 helms, iron rod sets, and so on. I bought everything. These cards were there like sitting. No one bought them. Absolutely no one. So I just took everything I could. Not as a kind of... I anticipate a bit the thoughts of some people here, but like, oh, evil investors and so on. No, I really had in mind to finish the set. So 80% of all that stuff that I bought went into like trading eventually, or actually, yes, selling to get the copies I needed from locals and people who just passed by, I met, and so on. Then the Crippling Crush, got it from the same shop. I got the Alpha Rampage here. Nothing much to say. This is a copy of my friend's deck right there. And the Spinal Crush, so this comes from this gentleman in Hawaii. So if you're watching this, thanks again for helping me to finish. That was the last Rainbow Foil Majestic I needed, together with the Glint, the Quicksilver. This stuff was pretty easy to get as well, nothing special here. Same here, common cards, nothing really impressive. And we come now to Ninja. So Katsu, I was super lucky to find the Mask of Momentum. This was in a shop. The shop owner literally put the card without any sleeve in a stack of other cards without sleeves. So it was just sitting right there in the middle. Fortunately, it has no damage on the surface. There's like 2 factory print lines on the back, pretty deep, but you can't really see them on camera, I think. It's right there on the top. The corners, we have like 1, 2, 3 hits, doesn't really matter. The only problem here is that this is one of these versions with the blue ink damage. Not damage, but like stain. I don't know how many cards are affected by that, Mask of Momentum, but all the copies I've seen in Taiwan have it. Absolutely all of them. I'd be curious if you're in Taiwan and watching that, if you open one without the blue stain, just feel free to let me know. Always happy to gather such information. So yeah, this is not a gradable copy, but it doesn't really matter. These items are very difficult to get. There are not many on the market. And even if you see one on the market, price will be kind of high. Card will not be perfect. You can't be too picky. And I think with time, I also learned to appreciate these things for what they are, regardless of their corners and stuff. And this is for my binder, and basically, if I want such legendary card or like very special collectible, I'm not going to look at the back. And even if I look, from here, like the corners don't really bother me. It's important, I think, to really appreciate these kind of things for what they are, and not just things you're owning like shit because you don't have a 9.5, a 10. Of course, it's great if you have, but this is still a Mask of Momentum. This is still a cold foil. This is still 800 copies, and this is still a very scarce item and difficult to get piece, right? Just a common cold foil. Nothing special about this one. Just say something about the Lord of Wind. That was one, actually very lucky experience. I ordered online from a shop here in Taiwan some stuff, all unlimited back in December, and everything arrived as described, except for this. They sent me the alpha version foil of the card. So, well, I really didn't complain, to be absolutely honest. I'm pretty happy about that. It was just one rainbow foil majestic less to try to get. Ancestral Empowerment, this one has a special place in my collection because this is the very first Flesh and Blood card I ever bought. So when I arrived in Taiwan in December, I was in quarantine for 2 weeks, got involved with the game online with some friends, Saint and so on, explained me a bit the basics, what the game was about and so on, and then I checked online and it just happened that there was a shop 5 minutes walk from my place. I passed in front of it like maybe hundreds of times and never stopped by. And they were carrying Flesh and Blood. And I arrived there, I asked to look at some cards. I knew Majestics were like more rares, but I never saw a cold foil back then. I had no idea what was powerful, played, and so on. So I took this one because, as a Magic the Gathering collector and player, Ancestral Empowerment kind of rings a bell. So it made sense to me to get that. And on top of everything, the artwork is absolutely beautiful. I'm a huge fan of this kind of art. It's very detailed, very, soft, and it somehow echoes to some old Japanese movies that I've been watching back then when I was a kid. So this one makes a lot of sense to me. This is still one of my favorite artworks in the whole game, all sets considered. And yeah, this is a very special card to me. Here we have the Mugenshi, Hurricane Technique, Pounding Gale stuff. Nothing too fancy. Okay, Warrior. And now the Brave Forge Bracers. That was I think the 4th legendary I got. And I got it from the friend who sold me his Bravo deck. That was our first meeting. I went to Taipei solely to buy that card because I couldn't find it. Warrior being, Dorinthia being super popular. I think it has a little problem on the surface, like a print line. Very thin somewhere here. But nothing too big, nothing too much to be too worried about. The corners are clean. This is also a very nice memory. I bought a few other stuff from him. We had a nice dinner the same evening with some of his friends. That's a nice memory to me. Then we have here, that one was tough to get. This is the one that comes from Hawaii. So thanks again to that guy, to the gentleman, I won't say his name here, for helping me out to get this copy. And the Steelblade Supremacy, I bought it also in Taipei the same day I got the Brave Forge. I was lucky enough to meet with a player there willing to get some cash, so I bought his copy. This is the only copy I ever saw for sale. Never saw any other copy of Steelblade here for sale, some on eBay, but I'm very, very careful buying online. I really don't like to do that, or if I buy, it's from very trusted sources, and my trusted sources are just like buying and not selling anything, so I'm kind of screwed on, on that end. Here is everyone's favorite, Rathe. No comment on that card, I guess everyone knows. We have the commons, the rares, stuff like that, and now comes the generics. So, that thing here has been a huge pain in the to get. I should have started with this right from the beginning. It was expensive. It was like $2,000 back then. I didn't buy one. I bought the other ones for like cheaper and so on, but definitely should have started with that. This has been really like kind of depressing. I had 2 deals, and both of them fell through. I mean, the guy just said, each time the guy said at the very last minute, like, oh, sorry, I got a higher offer. I can't sell to you. It's already sold. And I was like, yeah, okay, you don't even give me a chance to raise my offer whatsoever. So I got screwed 2 times like that. And I was getting kind of desperate. Then I met a guy. He had a copy, but he didn't really like take care of his cards at all. There were like stains on the surface, hints on the top. The corners were absolutely like disgusting, really. And I didn't buy the copy. I mean, for like 3,000 USD or something, I didn't want to put that much money in such a dirty copy. It's a shame because when you open such items, it's so difficult to get. At least put them in a sleeve or take care about them. I don't know. So that copy is pretty clean. There is only one problem, which is the top left corner. I think overall it can get like 8.5 on corners. I won't grade that. But as said before, this is a very tough to get card right now. Doesn't matter if I don't have a 10. This is gorgeous to see just from the binder and just to own it in my hands. It's just a beautiful card. I'm pretty happy with that. And I really, over time, I really learned to stop complaining about this kind of stuff. It's really not worth it. The card is still near mint. There is no problem with that. It's not gem mint, it's not pristine, of course, but it's still near mint. And that's all what matters in the end. Here we have the card that I sometimes play. I sometimes play it in Bravo, Goliath Gauntlet. That was also one of the first cold foils I picked among the common ones. Snapdragon, the Iron Rod set, nothing much to say. Curiously, the Gauntlet was the most difficult of the 4 for me to get. I only managed to get one over like 6 months here. Just can't find this, while the Helm seems to be the most popular one. I don't know why. Then comes the E-Strike. So this comes from the guy I bought the Scap Skin. This is a beautiful copy. Just you can't notice that on camera, that there's just very little thing on the top edge. Well, I mean in the black border, but it's nothing. That is no big deal. Yeah, just the corners. You know, it is what it is. Still a rainbow foil E-Strike. So this is just. I think this is more difficult to get than a tunic nowadays. It's completely crazy. I have no idea where are the copies. What happened to them? It's just, I think some guys must have like 30 of them and sit on them. I don't know. The Tome of Fendel here, I was pretty lucky. I own like a few copies of this card. For some reason, I found many of them here and there. No one seemed to really care about this card. I think it's a very good Majestic. Not as strong as E-Strike or CNC, but it comes close, just maybe right after Art of War. So curiously, that was super easy to get, as opposed to the Enlightened Strike. Of course, there is the playability aspect, but for matters of collection, I was surprised. I see so many guys now trying to buy this one, while they have the E-Strike, so it's kind of funny how things turn out. Here, nothing much to say, I guess. I will just go through to show the cards. Oops, that was, what happened here? Yep, that was bent, okay. Good. I will just go back to Ninja quickly. So, oh, yeah, here we have the Razor Reflex. Don't know if you guys know this, but the foil version is pink, while the non-foil version is red. And the red one is the only red pitch card from the whole set with the red stripe and not the misprint with the pink one. Okay. And I was saying I will go back to Ninja very quickly because I have something. Yeah, these are just the tokens. The reverse side of the tokens you see there. There's something that needs to be said is that on the website of Flesh and Blood, they list a token. I think it's WTR 039. It should be a Quicken token with Bravo on the other side or something like that. And that token just doesn't exist. I think it's a mistake on their website. I never ever saw a copy of that WTR 039 with Bravo on the other side. Or was it? I don't remember exactly the numbers, but I haven't found like these two on the same card, as opposed to what is listed on the website. And yeah, the Ninja stuff, I just go back to Surging Strike Yellow, because this is actually the very last card I was missing for the whole set. And I didn't want to buy it online again, so I really needed to find someone with that card, and surprisingly, I don't know why, it was difficult to get. This one actually has a misprint here in the pitch resources thing. There's like some kind of stain. I don't know if all other copies have that. So yeah, that was the end of the collection when I finally got that copy. So yeah, as final thoughts, this was a very, very how to say, exciting but also exhausting journey to finish this set. With Magic the Gathering, I had stopped collecting, finishing sets for a long, long time. And doing that again brought back so many good memories. It was super, again, exciting to do. Kind of also very stressful because some of the cards were just like impossible to find. I was lucky with the E-Strike, but if I had to find an E-Strike right now, I think I would be kind of desperate. And yeah, I'm still missing a few things. I don't know what I will put here. You always have like missing a blank spot here because I want to make the set organized like in that way with the Majestics, Super Rares, then Rares and so on. So it doesn't look like disorganized. So maybe I will put a bubble here and yeah. That's it. I say that already a few times in the video. I think if you really love collecting and so on, don't focus too much on how the corners look like for a specific card, or think that your collection is worth shit because you have 2 hits on the corners and so on. You really have to learn to appreciate the rarity of these items. Like, if you have a cold foil, a legendary one, even a common one, and the condition is not so good, just remember that these things will never be reprinted. This is super rare, and just learn to appreciate what you have about that. This was the lesson I had to learn through this experience. I'm now trying to finish Arcane Rising set. I have a few friends helping me with that. The big problem is not the cold foils. Again, it's really the rainbow foil Majestics. These things just don't exist. They are like, try to find a Blazing Aether foil right now. With the special flavor text, it's just kind of impossible to find. So yeah, that's it. I will update you guys on the Heart of Fendel grading experience very soon. In the meantime, if you want to see how each and every of these cold foils and special card look like, especially the Majestic ones and the cold foil, you can check my Instagram account. I make very close-up shots of each cold foil under different angles. I try to show to collectors how the cards look like before you buy one. Because I did that because it was very difficult for me to realize how a particular cold foil looked like, just seeing on websites or pictures and so on. So I hope that with the videos, different angles, you can really appreciate how these cards look like before you buy one, or if you're interested and so on. And let me also say that there is a giveaway on that Instagram page for Alpha Bravo pre-constructed deck. I think I will close the competition on the 2nd of September. Basically, you just go check. There is a gold foil tech plating. Give a rough estimate of what kind of grade it will get. That is corners, surface, edges, and centering. And the person who gets the closest number after the grading will receive free pre-constructed Bravo deck, Alpha deck. Only like 10,000 exists, so it's also a very nice collectible, I think, and it's shipped for free worldwide if you win. In the meantime, I wish you the best of luck for the road of nationals if you participate. I still have 2 events. Hopefully I'll qualify with my Bravo deck, and I wish you an excellent spoiler season for Tales of Area. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and see you.